Hello again, it's Mike here. I'm just going to show you in this tutorial how to simply work with client accounts in the docsafe app. So let's go and pick a client. Let's do this by a search this time to save me some time. So I'm going to go to Geese. First of all, you'll see all of the folders that are associated with this client and all the information on the screen that we may have covered before, but you'll see there's 4 top level folders. Information that is shown is how many subfolders there are within that folder, how many documents, and out of those files and documents, how many are unread. So if we were to pick a folder just by clicking it, you'll see what's inside that. You'll see here there are 3 documents that are unread. There's another folder within it called 2013, and in that one we have 2 documents, both of which are unread. So if we click that one again, you'll see 2 files in there, both of which are unread. What other information do you see on the screen? Well, you'll see icons down the left here showing you what type of file these are, the name of the file. If the file is in bold, it's yet to be read. Hence the information at the top of a folder. So in here, if we click, you'll see there's 2 unread, both of which are in bold. We can use the navigation buttons to go back. If we go back to taxation, you'll also see on screen that we have various icons for the status of a file if it's been uploaded and requires approval. So these files here have all been approved. If we go within this folder, you'll see that one is awaiting approval, so it's got a question mark. You can see this legend here, that'll tell you what's going on. You'll also see the date and time that the file was uploaded. At the top of the screen as well, you'll also see some folder options. So the folder that you're in, you can do various things with. So if you click that, you'll see a little pop-up box. You can rename that folder, so if we wanted to change that folder from what it currently states at the top here, which is Geese Theatre Group Taxation, we could change that. We can delete that folder and all its contents, so should we want to do that, we click that. It does prompt us to ask whether we want to do that. I'm not going to do it this time. You can change the folder access permission. Now let's have a look who's got access to this particular folder. There are 3 users associated with this client, Geese, Ben, Helen and Mike. Now you can simply tick any combination of those users to any given folder. So if I were to tick off Ben and save that, Ben can no longer access the taxation folder. If I wanted to put him back on, it's quite easy. You just tick him on. Now the standard when you create a client is that everybody has access. All the users that are created will have access to all the folders. So it's up to you as a staff member to use the permission structures if you think they're appropriate. So let's put Ben back in. Other options that you've got, so change access, you can move the contents of a folder to another folder, but only within the same client. You can download the contents, so if you wish to take the entire contents of that folder rather than downloading individual files, you can do so by using that icon. Or you can upload to this folder using that icon. Now that's exactly the same, this upload green arrow, that's exactly the same as you would find at the top of any of the folders. It's the basic way to put files into a folder. What else can you find within a client account? Well, if we start from the top on the left, you've got client settings. You can change the name of the client. You can put clients into different business units to organise them, if you wish. You can give different permission rights to this particular client. And you can decide if you want this client to be able to upload in return. So they're the client settings. We go back to the client folders, the screen you're familiar with. You can create new folders here and also subfolders. So if you wanted to create a folder, you go into a client and you can create a new folder within a folder. We go back to the assigned users. These are the three people who can access this account: Ben, Helen and Mike. I've chosen in this case to tick off Ben as an approver, so on this account only Helen and Mike can ever sign a document that is placed inside it. To the side here as well we have a contact, so from the staff list that you have on your system you can pick a given staff member to be associated with that user. What that means is that the user can only communicate back to a single individual. If you leave that open as default, it means when that person, in this case say Ben, uploads a file back for you, say a Sage backup file or some documentation, he can notify any single or multiple staff members. He's not tied to any given, say, client manager. You can also unassign clients here if you want, so if you wish to remove them from the account. So going back to the buttons on the left, you've also got the ability to see the email history. Now the email history is a history of all the contents of every email that is sent back and forth between docsafe and your client back to docsafe. Now when you upload a file to docsafe, you have the option of adding extra text to the notification email that goes to your client, and the same applies to your client. All that information and all that activity is stored and archived and kept an audit trail of. So go back to the folders. If we then go to taxation again, if we pick a particular file, let's take livestock. On screen here you'll see all the contents and all the relevant information about that file. There's a thumbnail on the left. You'll see the name, where it's located, the read status, the size of the file. You also see whether it needs to be monitored, so if you wanted it to be monitored you can tick that box. What that means is that the staff member who uploaded it, which in this case was Mike, will be informed every time the client accesses that account, or accesses that file should I say. Let's just untick that. And along the bottom here you'll also see other icons that you can use to access further information and do various functions within this particular file. If you look at history, it'll give you the full history, audit history against this particular file, who put it in for example, who's read it, who signed it, on what day and at what time. You can also move the contents of this document, or this document should I say, you can move that document to another location within the client, perhaps another folder. You can delete it. You can see the approval certificate, that is the signing certificate, that is only visible obviously when a file has been approved by a client. You can download it or you can view it. So if I wanted to view it, I click it and it opens up on screen, simple open up, or I could have actually taken the option of taking a copy back down to my machine. So if we navigate back round, we've covered client settings, the folder structure, users, email history, folder options, so everything you need to know to work within a single client account. Thanks very much for your time.